And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Oh
We've
my
got a
God,
bunch of
yes.
crap happening in Germany.
Do
Yeah,
we
how you
ever.
doing, Bjorn?
I'm
How you doing, Bjorn?
exhausted. I am exhausted.
Tell
There
me why.
is,
Bjorn.
I mean, I have the I have the hoodie on. New York
Dang,
City
that's some good
Football
merch.
Club. New York City Football Club has. It's been an emotional week. It's been an emotional week. You predicted the RSL NYCFC final, and you were half
right.
right. The good half, the important half.
That's
The
right.
important half.
I was pretty decent with my predictions this week, which we'll get into later. In
Yeah.
fact, that's something I probably should queue up. But yeah, so RSL's Cinderella run ended, unfortunately. But NYCFC, they got themselves in a final. Congratulations.
My God, thank you. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah. Clapping.
I have to, as a rival fan, I have to give you congrats. I remember what this was like. We've won a Western Conference title already, and it was Western.
Amazing.
We've been in an MLS Cup final already. We've done all that as a New York Red Bulls fan.
Yeah.
So I remember how great it was, and I'm very happy for you guys to experience that now as well, as every MLS fan should. Every
However-
MLS fan, Cincy fans will get it, Austin fans, Vancouver fans. These fans one day will experience an MLS Cup final. I believe it in my heart.
It's going to be a while, perhaps. But it only took us 7 seasons. I guess that's relatively. I don't know. Would have to look that up. Actually, it's probably relatively quick.
Chicago Fire did it in their first season, and
Right.
Atlanta did it in their second season or something.
Yeah.
And those are pretty much the best. Seattle Sounders did it pretty fast too, a third or fourth season. I don't remember. Those are the benchmarks, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, we're not beating that, but we're. It was emotional. I mean, I can't say it any other way. Yesterday was in Philly at the game yesterday, and it was intense. And
Well, let's
we'll
go
get into
back.
it.
Who did they play on Tuesday again?
The New
There's two
England.
games. Oh, you were in Boston,
New
right?
England
Or no?
Revolution. I did not go to that game. No, I was.
you
I
were
was in
still in
Colorado. I was in Colorado. Yes, I was.
We
too
watched
far.
it on TV at the same time.
I watched it on TV. Went nuts. Went nuts at the Best Western. And I did some research to see if there were any other places to go, but I determined that I was the only person in the state of Colorado who cared about that game, and so I just.
I'm sure there was a sports bar in Denver you can go to, but
Maybe.
outside of that, I can imagine there's nowhere to go. You know?
I even looked. There were a couple of soccer bars that the internet recommended. That then, on further research, both appear to have closed during COVID. So I just stayed at the Best Western by Lake Dillon and just went nuts. But yeah, do we want
That's
to?
right.
Should we do it the way we
Oh,
do it?
right. Let's do it the way we do it, baby. Is this
All
is this
right.
you? You got this?
I got
got
this.
this.
Here we go.
Now it's time for the American Soccer Rundown.
Yes! On Tuesday, New York City Football Club eliminated the New England Revolution, record holder on points, all-time regular season points of MLS, on penalties to book their spot in the Eastern Conference Final, where they beat a severely depleted Philadelphia Union side 2-1 to reach their first ever MLS Cup final. There they will face the Portland Timbers, who ended RSL's Cinderella run by beating them 2-0 at home. NYCFC traveled to Portland to face the Timbers on Saturday, December 11th, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. It's going to be epic. And that is your American Soccer Rundown.
Nice. Well done.
Oh,
And we are epic matchup live on ABC Saturday. Is that Sunday or Saturday?
Yes.
I forgot. December 11th. Whenever December 11th is.
that is Saturday.
Live. Saturday on
3
ABC.
Eastern,
Cool.
noon local time. Yes.
So bring us there, Bjorn. You're a fan. I'm going to let you ride the waves. You experienced it all. Bring us to the final. Tell us, you say it's very emotional. Get specific. We're going to do an actors check-in.
we
How emotional?
I mean, the two games were very, very different. Obviously, we were relative underdogs against, although you called it correctly, that the New England, the Revs were perhaps a little rusty after a 20, however many days it was, 23-day layoff. And
I am a genius.
You
I am
are
a savant
you are a
genius.
genius. That's why
I'm
you're
a
here.
I'm a foosball savant. So.
A foosball savant. That's why you're in this elevated position. Yeah, but I thought the team just played great. I thought whatever was going on with the Revs or not, I thought we really dominated most of the game. Got a very early lead, Santi Rodriguez from the Bronx zone, Tavon Gray, who, is one of those kids that are not, not the entire fan base thought that he was really a starter, but he had a great game and got an assist. And then, New England tied the game at one set piece goal from Buxa on a header, and then it was 1-1, took the 1-1 into overtime. We had a few chances. It started feeling a little bit actually like that Orlando game last season, where also we were pretty dominant on the road and had a bunch of chances and couldn't convert, and then lost in penalties. This time it ended up differently. Tati Castellanos got the 2-1. We took the lead in overtime with an aggressive header, just incredible, presence of mind and just coming out of nowhere seemingly to head Guditaro Arnsson's cross into the goal. And then I thought, well, we should probably be able to defend this. But then
what did you do a minute later?
Then the very same Tati Castellanos, who really, listen, I'm going to preface this by saying that he really, for the most part, has gotten away from his bullshit. He used to really, in prior seasons, there was a lot of that, a lot of tussling, a lot of fighting with refs, a lot of sort of shithousery. And this season, he matured a lot, and kind of. There was less of that and more goals and less shithousing, but in this case he had a mental lapse of like a
You're
mental
being
lapse
very
of
defensive, right? You're protecting your own right now.
Well, I don't want to rag on the guy because he's really been our best and most important player of the season. But that was a poor decision where he went and he was already on a yellow, went in for a tackle, and got himself tossed with a few minutes left in the game. And also that obviously meant him being suspended for the Eastern Conference Final, and also really put us on our heels for the last few minutes of regular time, where eventually then Tavon Buchanan, who had been very, very quiet the entire game, who really, actually my son and I were keeping score because we were worried about our left back Malte Amundsen versus Tavon Buchanan. We thought that was definitely a matchup that was going to go the Revs' way. Right. But for most of it, it did not. For most of it, and Malte had a lot of help. They usually double teamed Buchanan, and he got very frustrated, and also himself kind of picked up a yellow card and had some quarrels with the referee. Anyway, in overtime, he then finally came through and sort of
scored the best goal of the game.
Bounced around. Scored the best goal of the game? What are you talking about?
Best goal of the game. It's Tajon, isn't it? It's not Tavon. Is it Tajon Buchanan?
Yes.
Tajon Buchanan scored a rocket. Tavon.
There's Tavon Gray. He's the NYCFC right back. And Tajon Buchanan.
Apologies. And he scored a rocket of a volley right there at the end, right to death.
Volley.
Just good timing too. Did I miss the goal? Didn't go to him, and he scored. How'd the goal go again? He scored it and he slammed it. It was just a great goal.
What, the Santi
Buchanan goal?
The Santi Rodriguez volley wasn't as good, or the Tati header?
No.
All right.
No, they were not. I think it was just the timing of it. Like, doesn't it come with it? It's 2-1. And he scores an equalizer and sends them to the penalties. And then you text me. You said, "Well, we're out. We lost."
Well,
you texted me.
I
said, "Have faith." What did I say to you? What did I say?
You said, "Have faith."
I said, "Have faith."
I was trying to manage my expectations. We've been, as a club, 0 for 4 lifetime in penalty kick in penalty kick shootouts. Maxi Morales, our captain, who used to be the penalty taker, is extremely bad at them. And
you said he was going to miss. You texted me, said, "Oh, Maxi Morales is going to miss."
Well, that's what I was thinking.
I said,
when Sean Johnson saved the Buxa penalty, I thought, oh, now we're even because Maxi's going to probably miss his. And so this means now we're going to. But that did not happen. And everybody made, I mean, those were 5 very, very solid penalties. There was not a stinker in the bunch. Matt Turner guessed right almost on almost every one of them. And but couldn't get to them. They were well placed. Even Maxi Morales went straight down the middle, hard, and that worked. And once he made his, I started believing. I thought, oh, we may just win this. And then
the football savant, me, told you to have faith, and it guided it through.
Yeah.
This is a fun war between the U.S. reserve keepers, I guess. If what's his face, Zach Steffen, is number 1, that's America's number 2, Matt Turner, versus America's number 3, Sean Johnson.
Yeah.
And Sean Johnson showed up.
He got this one. Yeah. He got this one. He saved one. And that turned out to be enough. And I just also special shout out to Alexander Collins, or as I like to refer to him, Trent Alexander Collins, because he is he makes his money as a center back, but he is a striker at heart. He will he will run forward any chance he gets. He scored a couple of goals this season where you were like, he's a center back. What is he even doing there? And his penalty, I mean, I probably have watched that about 127 times by now. It just makes me so happy. He has the straight run up, and he is just like, there's no question what he's going to do. He's just going to blast it down the middle. And Matt Turner picked a corner, and there was just no doubt. And I mean, it was just wonderful. It was a wonderful moment.
All right, so that you got your penalties, did it?
Yeah.
Bruce is done and all that crap, and now you're in Philly, right, for your Philly game. So real quick. Tati Castellanos did the second silliest thing by getting sent off before the Eastern Conference Final. The person who did beyond the silliest thing is a man by the name of Andre Blake. Andre Blake had a birthday party, a big old blowout. He invited all his friends, which just happened to be the starting 11 of the Philadelphia Union playoff team.
Now,
and all of them got COVID. So it did 2 things. A, they couldn't play, and B, it pointed out exactly who Andre Blake's friends were not. So, the teams and the people available were the people not invited.
That's what I was saying yesterday. The starting lineup were the people that Andre Blake doesn't like.
If I'm a fan, I would be livid. You pay season tickets, your thing, and it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a depleted squad because all the players had a party and broke protocol or something like that. Like, I guess it's not really their fault because you have a party, but you got to be safe. I don't know. When I went to Thanksgiving dinner, I had to show a negative test before I showed up. It was just simple. I bought a home test. Took me 10 minutes. There's just simple ways to be a little bit more careful, and they were careless, I guess, in how they did it.
You took a test. You took a test, even though you are fully vaccinated and all that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's called being careful. Yeah. So I'm fully vaccinated, but day of, because there were people over 60 at the party, we all took tests. It was a 10-minute home test, and we all had to show negative, or else we couldn't come.
Yeah.
And to me, that's very reasonable. I don't understand. That's a very reasonable, safe thing to do. I think they could have done the same thing. If you're in the playoffs and you're an athlete, like, you need to be careful. You need to, like, figure that stuff out.
Now,
so I think
do you know this? This is what happened. Do you? Because I know there were some.
I was there. I'm not gonna say I was there. I'm not gonna say insider sources, but let's just say I was in charge of bringing the party. So you didn't get a big old party. So
There was no
Yeah.
one over. There was no one over 60, so you didn't get tested for that one.
No, I don't know. Shet Messing was there. I don't know. I don't know. I think who's over 60? It's a goalkeeper. I don't know. Dr. Joe Macknick. Dr. Joe Macknick was there. FIFA match commissioner. Former semi-pro goalkeeper in Eastern Pennsylvania. No. This is just a rumor, I guess, but it's a very substantiated rumor. And then.
But
so there you go. So you had a very depleted Philly team. A lot of bench warmers, some USL guys who were called up, some squad guys. Like the fact that Arlen Collin played blows my mind. I thought he retired 2 years ago. Apparently he's still on the books at Philly, and he's still a player.
He is not. I think they said he played 4 minutes this year.
Yeah, the whole year or something. He runs a clothing line, Bjorn. Do you know that?
He does? I did not know that. What are his
It's kind of why
like?
he stopped performing well at the Red Bulls. he designs clothes.
Fashion.
I don't know. Literally, he was a great defender, and then his last year at Red Bull, he wasn't so great, and he was spending a lot of time launching his clothing line.
Oh,
So I went to Philly. And the reason I'm playing is because I assume he's more interested in his clothing line than his actual footballing career. There's a little backdoor sneak into Collins or Arlen Collins' career. So the fact that he was your best defender on the day means that's a depleted Philly squad. But anyway, so you go into Philly. All right, tell me about it. Tell me about the trip.
Yeah, I mean, first of all,
tell me about the Turnpike. Tell me about the Turnpike. Did you stop at the Clara Burton stop on the Turnpike? Tell me about it.
No, we did not. We did
the
not
New Jersey
make any,
Turnpike that connects New York.
We didn't make any stops. So we went straight. There's not a lot of traffic. It was pretty good. It's like 2 hours from my house to Subaru. I guess it's now called Subaru Park in Philly.
Subaru.
Chester. It's not in Philly. It's really Chester. It's outside of.
Park.
You just go over the
it's
river.
In the burbs. It's out in the suburbs.
Yeah. It's far out, so it's easy to get to. And there was
woods,
some.
Grandma's house is where we play soccer.
There was some
Over
controversy.
the river and through the woods to Grandma's house we play.
Yep, that's it.
Trying to get this cool joke in, man. Over the river and through the woods to Grandma's house we play. Philly has. I think I got a little bit of a delay here. Sorry. Philly has this really cool part of downtown in South Philly where all of the stadiums are.
Yeah,
they're all right there. It's the same subway stop. There's a big rank bar in the middle of it that everyone goes to. Like that's where Philly sports fans go. So in my heart of hearts, maybe one day the Philly Union could relocate to a facility in that area. But right now they're out in the burbs, MLS 1.0 style. But anyway, sorry. That's the last of me.
Yeah,
Back
they have. Please interject. I've been to the stadium a few times. I've been to a bunch of road games. I was there when David Villa hit a goal from 50 yards out. I was there when that was the site of the first ever road win of NYCFC when Tommy McNamara and Patrick Mullins combined to beat Philly 2-1. Anyway. So this was not my first time at the stadium, but this time there was some controversy ahead of time because the Union only released 250 tickets for away fans, which obviously was not enough to meet demand. So I was not able to secure an away. I had to drop big money on StubHub to get a ticket sort of adjacent to the supporter section, but not really. So me and my son were sitting amongst the enemy with our NYCFC gear. And
that's crazy. Why did they do that?
Well, I think they wanted to minimize away support. I think they were a little worried because we have had that at some point. Actually, I don't think it was 2 years ago. The final regular season game was in Philly, and as sort of a thank you to the fans, the club chartered a bunch of buses and got a bunch of extra tickets, and there were a lot of people that came, and it was basically like a home game for us at Subaru Park. And I think the Union probably wanted to avoid that kind of scenario, and so they really limited the amount of away support. And But anyway, I made it in, and you could feel. I mean, this COVID situation really changed the dynamic of this game, because before that we were going to be a little banged up.
You guys are ready to steamroll, right?
I mean,
you guys are ready to steamroll those.
I wasn't.
Right?
I did not. Right? I was right? worried about it. I was worried about it, but I definitely. There were some people, that I was talking to beforehand who were like, "Oh yeah, this is we got this in the bag," and I was like, "I don't know. This doesn't feel good at all," and because it went because we had 2 days less rest. We had this overtime game at New England. We were missing Tati. James Sand sort of picked up an injury and wasn't quite 100%. And so, we still have these long-term injuries, Tinnerholm, Park. So I really thought we were coming in as the underdogs, but then this COVID thing, then the Union losing half their starting lineup to COVID really changed it. And you could feel it. You could feel the team kind of, especially in the first half, playing a little scared, being nervous, because it went from like, see what happens if we win, great, to like, if we're not going to win this game against this sort of, A to B team, we're going to be pretty bummed. And so you could feel the nervousness, not just among the team, but also among the fans. Everybody was sort of quiet, and it was kind of a nervy affair. And then in the second half, Philly actually took the lead on an own goal by the aforementioned Trent Alexander-Collins. Scored an own goal. And it's funny because I was really thinking just before it happened. I was looking at the game. I was like, they really have nobody in the box except Shabilko. There's no support. It's just him. But that was all they needed at that moment. The cross came in, and Collins kind of tried to block it and put it in his own net. But it seemed, and this was coming at a time where New York actually started to put their stamp on the game, and it was kind of against the run of play at that moment. But it also then sort of served as a wake-up call, and the team really kind of dropped a little bit of the anxiety and just went for it. And then, the equalizer, like 90 seconds later, almost immediately, Maxi Morales with another unlikely hero, Maxime Chanot, came from with a big shot from distance. The goalie couldn't hold on to it, and then it sort of bounced around, and Maxi got the tie. And all the three subs.
Yeah. So why? Did you expect? Do you expect better? Expect better?
I know
I would. Matt Freese, they have pool players. It was like a second string team, and you had to get a late minute goal just to squeak by with a 2-1 win.
Yeah, like I said, I think there was a lot of it was a nervy thing, but they did what they had to do, and I think to Ronnie Dyla's credit, he pulled the trigger on subs earlier than he usually does. He brought in Izzy Tajuri-Shradi, Goody Terarenson, and Thales Magno at the, I think, 57th minute, pretty early, and they all made a difference and injected some energy. And then it was Thales Magno who scored the winning goal with 3 minutes to go, and it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, very cool. You guys were cheering and having a good time in the Eastern Conference title. Yeah. Do you get a nice photo with any of the players? Or
an actual cup. An actual cup. I didn't get any pictures. Cup. But it's I didn't realize we were winning an actual cup. They hand the players, like in American sports, they do this, right? They immediately get the T-shirts and the hats that say Eastern Conference champion.
And that means there's always boxes.
Yeah,
incorrect
I was exactly
gear
gonna
somewhere.
Say that.
I would love to see where all that goes. There's just boxes and boxes and boxes of inaccurate title winners on hats. I want to know where those go. I
always think about that. Yeah, it's like, what do you do? They gotta just throw it away. Yeah, it's not.
Or reuse them or something. I want those. I want the misprint hats. Those, to me, those are more expensive. because it's like it's like a thing that doesn't exist. So
I guess that's
anyway. That was. Yeah. Any last thoughts on the game?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna, if we lose on Saturday, I'm gonna have to try and get my hands on the MLS Cup champion.
Oh yeah.
Merchandise.
Try to figure out who supplies that. Well, you'll be there, right? Storm the field and go straight to the kit guy and be like, "Where are the boxes?
Like, where is it?
Where are the reject? Where is it? Where is it? Damn you!
Give me one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you're headed to Portland, right, this weekend to check out the game?
I bought tickets.
That's so cool.
I have tickets to the game, I believe, in this time through the supporters.
I hope so.
Through the supporters
I
group.
think they go on sale to the public on Tuesday, so tomorrow, I think.
Oh yeah,
for the public, I believe.
I should be all set if the third rail can be trusted, which they can, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I think we're getting Tati back for this, and so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I have not watched much of the Timbers this season. I don't really have any idea quite what to expect. I hear that Sebastian Blanco is at least
injured,
at least hampered somewhat.
No, he's injured. He pulled his hamstring last week. The fact that he was on the bench in the last game is crazy.
Oh,
maybe he'll get a few minutes. But it's Diego Valeri's last ticket to ride, as this could very well be his last season. So, Portland, there was one other game, Portland RSL. RSL's dream Cinderella run came to an end, and Portland won a very comfortable 2-0. Other than maybe one half chance early on, RSL had nothing to offer. Really nothing. It was really the end of the line for them.
I was hoping
Portland came out strong. What were you hoping?
I was hoping, that game that RSL had against the Timbers, that they would have that against us in the final.
So you could host it at the Yankee Stadium.
We could host.
No, they dodged a bullet with that one. They're in Portland, great stadium, full house. It's turf, but it's decent turf. I don't love turf, but Portland turf is the only turf Thierry Henry would play on, so that there's some sort of value to that.
If it's good enough for Thierry, it's good enough for you.
Yeah, I think those are the rules. I mean, not really. If we're up to me, way too many stadiums are still on turf. Seattle's on turf. I think Toronto's on turf, right? Or are they on grass?
No, Toronto's on grass. It's Seattle, New England, and Portland, right?
Seattle,
and Vancouver.
New England, Portland, Vancouver, Atlanta. That's a big one. Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, Atlanta, right.
It just looks like a giant, shiny carpet. I'm just never a fan of turf. I like the old grass. I like a good, misty, green grass.
Yeah. The
way it's meant to be played.
Yankee Stadium's got grass.
Yankee Stadium's got grass, just the wrong shape. It's got a baseball mound in the middle
it's
of
not
it.
Maybe
it's not the wrong. It's a diamond. Anyway. You're playing the whole game in the outfield.
They make lines. They make a rectangle. There's lines.
I know.
I
know they draw the lines. I know they draw the lines. But then there's just a giant, weird loop of where baseball infield is just there somewhere. I would love for a Bundesliga game to be played in a baseball stadium week in and week out. It's like the Gladbach team moves to a new stadium built for baseball. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The Portland versus New York City FC game this weekend, of the last, 8 MLS Cup finalists have featured either Portland or Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
They have won each and every single Western Conference title over the last 7 years. They are just playoff winners and cup winners. I'm going to give it to Portland, and I'm going to give it a good 2-1 to Portland, maybe even a 3-1. 3-1 Portland. Let's see.
Well,
I'm going to give it to Portland.
I'm glad that your, powers of prediction are limited and will come to an end.
Oh, very accurate. Very accurate. Very accurate. I know your heart is playing, and NYCFC's got a shot. I'm not saying they don't, but it's in Portland. Portland wins these things. The fact that you squeaked by Philly's bench, Portland ain't Philly's bench. Portland's got players.
Well, but
Portland's
everybody, you don't win an MLS Cup and play every game fantastically well. Like you have.
Yeah, like Portland, they only play the games that matter.
I mean, Portland. Have you seen the highlights of the Rapids Timbers game? Like, I don't know. I
watched the game. I watched the whole game, and I watched the RSL game. RSL had nothing. So, I mean, I wish you the best, but my brain and my heart says Portland.
We are by far the best team that they've faced this playoff season. I think that's fair to say. And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, NYCFC, we've been a Jekyll and Hyde.
Better than Colorado, the Western
team.
Conference champ, the Western table leaders, Colorado. You're better than them.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't play any. We didn't play them. We didn't. It's been a while. We only played like the
Eastern Conference teams. Yeah.
A couple. We had like Dallas and LAFC, but that was it for Western Conference teams.
No.
And so, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I have seen very little of the Timbers. Can't really say that I have a real sense. But, we have a week. Everybody can get their legs back, and we'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
That's right. So what's your final score prediction? Mine is Portland 3, NYCFC 1.
I think we're going to win 2-0.
2-0. Very
Yeah.
good. All right, we'll see. So this is my thing. I think if NYCFC wins, then I have to pretend to be an NYCFC fan all the next broadcast.
It's the Schnitzel, boys, it's the Schnitzel.